Now, I sent all of you an email. Actually, it ended up being two emails today, and it's got some attachments and some other stuff in there. But I want you to know, a year ago, when I talked with Paul Smith over at the St. Louis campus, we talked about possibly wanting to have some kind of a book we could find on Java syntax. So we could go over the stuff that was in there even before um, we started going into Android. And I had found this because it's cheap. It's about $10. See how thin it is. It's called Java Quick Syntax Reference, and it's an A-Press book. Well, I found it online also. So I sent it to you. So you got the book. The only difference between this book and the book you will get is the one you will get has 22 chapters in it. This one has 23. This has an extra chapter in it on lambdas, all right? And it's not in the old one. What I've been doing over the last couple weeks, too, is I've gone out, created a YouTube channel, and on that YouTube channel, I've got lectures for all, well, I shouldn't say all. There's 23 chapters. I've made it through 21. All right, so those first 21 are out there. I will do the other two when I come in on Monday, but they're out there. You are not going to at all take a look at those lectures and go, "Oh, now I'm an expert." Some of them literally, this book is about 100 pages, 23 chapters. Do the math. The average length of a chapter is about 3 to 4 pages. All right. Some of these are actually 20 minutes long. That's the longest, and some of them are 5 or 10 minutes long. All right, say the average is about 10 minutes. Do you have to watch it? You don't have to watch one of them. But if you want to, you can. What I am planning on doing during the break, amongst other things, is this will be finished then, but I've already given you this, which is that Android Developer Fundamentals. I already gave that to you, all right? And I'm going to be going through, or starting to go through that during the break as well. I'm sure I won't get through all of it. There's about 500 pages, all right? And so I will get through what I can, and I will keep working on it throughout the semester. Those lectures will be out there too. But after I finish these two chapters from the Java Quick syntax reference, and before I actually start this, I'm going to go out and I'm going to write about a dozen Java programs, just Java. And I'm going to put those out there. And it's going to sound kind of weird, but a lot of stuff I do I guess does. But also the first 2 or 3 days of class, we're going to create those programs as a class. You're just going to do a lot of data entry, for lack of better words. But they're going to get more and more complex. The programs will start really easy, and they'll get to be fairly complex. Most of the stuff that's in this book right here will be discussed in those programs. Not everything, but most everything. All right? Now, a couple other things, just so you're aware of this. All right. I went out, as I oftentimes do, to udemy.com, who they have courses on all sorts of software things, such as, well, if I go out to this one right here, there is a free course out there on how to learn Java. Now, again, you might take the course and go, yeah, it was worth every penny I paid for it. It's not fantastic, but it's not a bad course. It's called Introduction to Programming with Java. The guy who wrote it, his name is Kirill Anastasiov or something like that. And I don't think English is his first language, but it's not terrible. All right, I mean, if you listen, I'll just let you hear a couple seconds of it.
Hi, this is Kirill Anastasov from the Mastermind Group. I'd
Okay.
like to welcome you to my free course.
But that was the only one that I could find out there that was free. All right? Because I'm not making you go out and spend any money on anything. But again, if you're interested, so you've got the link to that as well. All right? What we're going to do today, or attempt to do, It's going to be interesting. I removed everything Java from this computer. And I'm going to attempt to use these instructions that I have sent you that are based off of this YouTube video. All right. And I'm going to attempt to go and install both the Java JDK, the Java Development Kit, which you need, and Android Studio. Okay? Now, just so you are aware of this, you can write regular Java programs from Android Studio, not Android. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a little bit quirky the way you have to do it. So if you were like, well, even if it's only for 2 or 3 weeks, I'd rather have a regular Java IDE and be able to learn on that. There's one that's called IntelliJ IDE. They've got a free community edition. And if you do want to go out there, you can go take a look at, I thought I had it here, maybe I don't. No, I thought I had it open. I guess I don't. All right. But they've got a lot of stuff with it. And again, it's free. All right. Do you have to download that? No. You don't have to do a doggone thing. All right. But again, I'm going to go over the steps to this document that I sent you this morning. All right. And it's basically on how to install the Java Development Kit. I'm going to walk through it with you right now, step for step or step by step. Hopefully we won't have any problems, but even if we do, now's the time to have them before the class actually starts. All right? Or if you have a problem with it, the same kind of thing. Now, come next week, after I have looked at your project, if you want to get rid of or uninstall Visual Studio, that's your call. All right? I will tell you that in some ways, at least, Android Studio is kind of a pig. And what I mean is it's almost a gig. So if you've got a really, really slow machine and you're looking to free up some space, come the end of next week or come during the break, you may want to uninstall Visual Studio 2019 Community Edition. All right? Now, that said, if you go, well, geez, I won't be able to run my project set. That's true. All right? So it's, the whole thing is on you as far as what you want to do. All right? But what I want to do is I'm going to run through these steps with you. If you want to follow along, great. If you want to do it on your own, great. If you want to, grab a different video or whatever out there, that's, again, totally your call. But I just want to show you first, I'm going to bring up the control panel. And under my control panel, this is mine, I'm going to go to Programs and Features, and I just want you to see this is alphabetized. There's nothing in there that starts with a J. I have nothing Java out there. It is possible, even if you've never put anything on your own machine, you could have Java on there already. It is possible. All right. Again, it comes with some machines. All right. And I had, the bad thing is it has changed over time. It used to be the way that Java was set up. If you had a version and you installed another version, it would install right on top of the old one. There was one time, not in here, but at the school I used to work at, I had 9 versions of Java on my computer. And after a while, that was ridiculous. All right. When I looked this morning, there was only like 1. And I had an update. And I started to go through the steps that I'm going to go through with you right now to install the Java Development Kit. All right. I'm just going to leave that open because I am going to end up using it later. So, as it says, and you can do this in so many ways, but I'm just going to literally go into Google. Again, I'm following the steps from this video and the ones that I wrote down for you. And in Google here, I'm just going to type in Java JDK. Okay? And the JDK, again, is the Java Development Kit. There's other parts of Java rather than just the Java Development Kit. There's the SDK, which is the Software Development Kit, and some other things. To my knowledge, other than this JDK, everything else you'll need to do Java will be installed along with Android Studio. Everybody hear what I said? all right, as far as I know. But Android Studio, for whatever reason, does not install with it, all right, Android Studio does not install with it the Java Development Kit, the JDK. All right. Now, you can look on here and probably tell if you look at the coloring. I'm going down now to the second link that's in here where it says Java SE downloads Oracle Technology Network Oracle. That one right there. I'm going to click on that one. And again, maybe you've even done this, or after you watch the video or whatever, I'm doing it pretty much the way the guy in the video did it, but not exactly. All right? Now, this is the JDK, and I think you can click this one, but I'm just used to doing it by grabbing the one right here. Everybody see where my mouse is? Right there. It says Oracle JDK. Right there, and it says download. So I'm going to click that link, or that hyperlink, or whatever you want to call it, the button right there. All right? And then I'm going to scroll down on this screen to the bottom of this screen. All right? So I'm right here. And I don't mean way down here by this stuff. I mean I want you to be right here. So it says, what do you want to download? Just so you know, there are, I think, 3 versions of Java. All right? We've got the SE, which is the standard edition. There's also the ME, which I think is totally mobile, but I'm not positive. All right? And I think there's like the EE, but I might be wrong on it. It's the Enterprise Edition. That one you may have to pay for. I don't know. Now, if you look on the screen, don't do this yet. But what I'm going to end up choosing is this second last one. My guess is everyone in this room, as long as your computer is less than 10 years old, probably has a 64-bit machine. All right? There are ways to check it. You can go into Windows and check. But my guess is you probably all have a 64-bit machine. Let me just tell you, to my knowledge, if you don't, if you say, no, I don't, I got a really old machine, or I bought this, I bought it for 50 bucks, and it's 32-bit. To my knowledge, when we use the Android emulator, which is software that basically mimics a phone, that to my knowledge, you need a 64-bit machine for the emulator. If you've got a 32, I don't think it'll work. The good news is, Mr. Corrigan has ordered 10 tablets. You're each going to get one to use next semester. All right. The first day we're going to do it because last year when I did it, it was kind of all junked up, but we're going to do it better. We're going to put like numbers or something on them, and that'll be yours. You're not going to be allowed to take it out of the room. Sorry. They're not mine either. And he told me that with tax, they were right under 150 bucks a machine. So it's not like they're astronomical in cost. All right. If you do have your own Android machine or your own tablet, you want to bring that in, that's your call. All right. I've had people in the past who have done this and taken their files that they've created, even downloaded them to their watch, and they were able to run at their own applications on their watches. All right. So now if you look on here, if I were to click this one right now, I'm not going to. But if I were to click this one right now, it would come back and say, you didn't accept the license agreement. So you've got to click here to accept the license agreement. All right? Somewhere in here, you can check out there it is. You can check out the license agreement. I don't know about you, but, I'm going to trust them, whether that's right or wrong. So I'm going to click here where it says accept license agreement. Now you can see what's down below this is changed. All right? And now I'm going to go to the second last one, and I'm going to download the exe file, which is the Windows 64-bit exe. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and that will start the download. Depending on the speed of your machine, it'll take anywhere from a minute to 2 or 3 minutes. I'll try not to go on until everyone who's doing this says that theirs has been loaded. All right? I will tell you, too, you only have to do this once, this stuff we're doing today, but the easiest way to screw up all your Android is to not have a good version of the JDK. And I'm speaking from personal experience. All right? It's the easiest way to screw up everything that you're doing. You can have everything else set up correctly, but if your JDK is screwed up, you're going to have problems when you do Android. All right? I mean, it's not a threat to you. I'm just telling you because I've done it. All right, now mine is done. I'm gonna wait for a minute or so because some of yours may still be loading. Again, all these steps that I'm giving you right now, I have sent you these. So if you fall behind or don't want to do it with me, but please, I'm hoping this isn't asking too much. Other than Devin here, all 10 of you are signed up to be back in spring. I'm taking for granted that the first day of spring, we're going to start coding. Literally, you're going to come in here. I'm going to talk about the syllabus. Then we're going to code. So I'm taking for granted that I'm not going to say, hey, Chris, no, Jeff, I didn't download anything. I wasn't really listening. I didn't pay attention to you anyway, but I didn't pay attention that day. All right? I don't want that. I'm doing the same thing with the morning people. They've been told Monday of next week we're downloading the community edition of Visual Studio 2019. All right, so we're doing the same exact thing. And I'm taping that because the great news for me, at least, is I have 2 more people joining in class in spring. So my numbers are doubling from 2 to 4, which actually, believe it or not, makes me very happy. I met them yesterday. Both seem like really nice people and are very enthused about getting into this. All right, so I've done that. Has everybody's downloaded? All right. So if you look over here, here's where mine is. I'm just going to right mouse click on it and choose open. You've done this kind of thing before. We've all done things like this before. All right. So it says, do you want to allow the app to make changes to your device? Yes. All right. It goes through its preparing to install, etc. The wizard will guide you through the install process. I will tell you one thing. We're going to just step through and we're going to click next. But don't just go next, 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 because there's something on one of these steps I want to show you. All right. So if you're here, yes, click next. Then please stop. This is where, right here, C:\program files. This is where mine is going to be downloaded. My guess is yours is at least similar. If your main drive isn't your C drive, it's the D drive or something else that it may be different for you. But what I want to do is I want to grab that path that's right there. Make this smaller because it's way too big right now. So I'm going to grab that path and I'm going to type it in so I have it. C:\program files. I think that's 2 words, I believe. If you don't have it, you can always go back and get it again later. That's not a big thing one way or the other. Just trying to make my life a little easier. So program files. Now what did I do? There we go. All right. Java \JDK. Again, the Java Development Kit -13.0.1 \. I'm just going to keep that for later. All right. You'll understand why when we get to that step. All right. So if you did want to change it, of course, you'd click here. I don't recommend changing it, but if you have your own reasons for doing so. So I'm going to click next, and as you can see, it's starting to go through the process of installing this. All right. Again, it will take anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes. I'm already done. So hopefully yours will come up fairly quickly as well. If you're at this step, and I won't do it for a minute or so, but if you're at this step, yes, you can click the close button. All right. I've got here, I made it I don't know how many step process, 19, 20, 22 step process. We are already up to step 10. So it's not like this is overly complicated. All right. Is everybody who is following me, we're all together? So I'm going to click close then. Now, what I'm going to do next, you don't have to do, but you can do. Okay? And that is, I'm going to go over here, down here where it says type here to search, and you can either type in the two words command prompt or just CMD. Since that's less typing, I'm typing CMD there, and I'm hitting enter. And it brings up a DOS command prompt. All right? Now I'm going to type in here Java minus version. So I can see the version of Java that I've got in here. Now hopefully when you do it, you're going to get something very similar to what I have. All right? Hopefully it doesn't come up and say you don't have anything. All right?
Java is not recognized.
Okay, then we'll go on. When we go through the next steps, you'll have to tell me then if it's there. All right? Now, what it's telling me that I've got on here is just the JDK. All right? Technically, I'm supposed to put Java minus version to find the actual version. And now notice it's giving me this. This morning when I did it, it gave me just what you had, Chris. All right? What I'd like you to do, this you're probably not even going to be able to tell, but I'm typing in path. Now yours may not be as ugly as mine is. Yours may be uglier than mine is. All right, yours may be very small. It may not be that small. But what happens is if you don't know, and I'm not a hardware guy, so I'm not the guy to be teaching this, all right, much less telling you this. But when you type in something and the system has to look for it, this is the path it goes down. Now, if I look in here long enough, all right, and I know what's in here, there it is. C:\program files \Java \JDK 13.0.1 \bin. Everybody see that on mine? You should have something at least similar to that. If you want to look through all mine, Jeff, and I don't have it in there, then I'm not sure exactly what to tell you. All right? All right. Now I can close this. I don't need it anymore for now, but I'm going to come back to it later. So I just type in exit, boom, it's gone. Now, if that wasn't on yours, all right, we can force it. So if it wasn't there, all right, then what we have to do is we have to add it to your environment variables. So I'm going to take for granted that when you just did that, it wasn't there. All right, so if it wasn't there, come down here again and type in control panel, or if you kept it open before, open up your control panel. All right? And I want it so it looks like this, where the control panel first comes up. Okay? You have to change it so where it says view by here, you want to click this down arrow and choose category. Because if you've got icons, you're not going to be able to see the categories. All right, if that's the case, then come in here, and the first thing up here says System and Security. Choose that. All right? All I did, again, was I clicked on these categories, System and Security, the top one. Next, I want to go down and I want to find the word System. So it's the third one down. All right? So I got in, I changed it to categories, I went to System and Security, now I'm clicking on System, right there. If you've gotten to that point, again, if I'm going too fast, you have to stop me. But if you've gotten to that point, if you look on the screen here, I want you to go here where it says Advanced System Settings. Click there. All right? And it should now look like this. Now, this again is if you didn't have that in your path, because I'm showing you how to put it in your path. All right? So you click on the two words there, environment variables. right there. Click on environment variables, right there. All right? And now yours probably won't look like mine. Notice I've got user variables for Rankin. I didn't set this machine up. All right? But if you go down to the bottom one, you should have a thing of system variables. If you go down, you might have to arrow down a little bit, but you should be able to find the one that says path. All right? And don't double click it, just single click on it and it'll turn blue. All right? So just single click on it, and again, when you do, it will turn blue. Now, what it's saying is, do you want to create a new path? Do you want to edit the path? Do you want to delete the path? Etc. All right? One of the reasons that I don't do things like this normally with a class is the last thing in the world I ever want to do is screw up anybody's machine. All right, you say, well, geez, Jeff, mine worked fine, and then I listened to what you said. Now it's all screwed up. If that does happen, let me know. I won't fix it, but I'll take it either to Chad or to Mr. Corrigan and have them fix it for you. All right? Because if it doesn't work, then maybe I'm part of the reason that it got screwed up to begin with. All right. So if that's the case, and you've done this, after you got it blue, click Edit. And what you can see here is these are all the paths that the system will look for. See that? Now, if you look on the bottom of mine, that may not be your last one. See how that got put in there for me? I'm going to show you then how to put it in. And that is, you just click on New, and then you type in there whatever that was that we saved before. For instance, again, mine looked like this. But please look up on the screen. At the end of the path that you had, look on the screen. Add the word bin. Because that is where the actual executable JDK file is. That's where it is. That's where it's housed. All right? So we're telling it, the system, that when you're looking through all these other places, look here as well. Okay? Now, if you say to me, well, it's going to go on the bottom, so I've got it at the bottom of my path. Can I move it to the top? I wouldn't do anything with your path. All right? In the worst case, something is screwed up here, and you'll have a problem with a JDK. But with the steps I'm showing you, it should not at all influence anything else that you have on your machine. Okay? So after you put that in, you literally will you will click OK, and then OK, and then OK. That should have put it in your path. Now you can close then Control Panel. We can again open up this DOS window with either CMD or Command Prompt, and now if like Chris, if you look now and you say Java minus version and there's still nothing in there, all right, it shouldn't happen. But I'm just saying, if there wouldn't be anything in there, type in the word path again, and now hopefully you can find where that path is. To if C: or whatever yours was, / program files, / Java, etc. Does all that make sense? Because if you have done all of that, you now have your battle is half done. You've got the entire JDK on there. All right, that's good. So let's do the other half right now. All right, you can close this if you've got it open. Just type in exit. All right. I'm going to go back to Google again. You don't have to do that, but I'm just going to type in Android Studio download. And notice it says there, download Android Studio, the official Android IDE. We are going to be using an IDE like we did last semester, like we did the semester before. It is going to be similar to what we did with Visual Studio. It is not exactly the same. And Devin, I can kind of lean on you. Some people like that IDE better. Some people like Visual Studio better. I usually ask somewhere in the semester, and it's usually in half and half. All right? But it doesn't matter. I mean, can you actually do Java under Visual Studio? Believe it or not, I think you can. I don't know how. Plus, Google, who owns Android, recommends we use this IDE. That's one of the reasons we're doing it. Now, I'm going to click on this, and you can too, the Download Android Studio. But before we download it, because I'm going to do it in just a second, I want to show you something first. All right? For now, I'm just going to remove that, and I'm just going to have developer.android.com. You don't have to do this. This is kind of your one-stop shop for everything Android. Did you hear me? There are tutorials under here. There is a bunch of stuff. So if you want the latest and greatest, all right, I'm going to have to start learning what Jetpack is. I don't know what it is. All right, but I've heard about it. Notice, Advanced Android with Kotlin, Udacity, free course. If you want that. Start building an app, etc. Sample code, code files, etc. If I keep going down far enough, there are plenty of, there's news, and then there are videos. Just like Apple does every year, Android has a conference every year where they introduce new features and a bunch of other stuff. You can see some of the stuff from there if you look in there. All right? Okay. But I'm going to go back to where you were, right there. Android Studio. And again, you don't have to do this, but just to show you, again, you don't have to do this. But I wanted you to see, if I go under Programs and Features, it says I have it in there. I don't know what that is. So I'm going to uninstall it right now. I didn't think I had it. It's currently running. Well, that's why. Okay. Because I've been writing some Java programs. That's why. So let's see. Close that. Uninstall. All right. It says this will remove everything I've got there. I don't really care. I just want to make sure, like you, I'm starting new. All right. Completed. Closed. There's no more Android Studio there. All right. So I can close this. Now, just like you, I'm going to click the button here. Again, please note the newest version is 3.5.3. All right. What the thing that I took this from, which is from right here, it's 3 months old, I think. All right. That was the JDK was 12.1. Ours is 13.0. And I think that the version of Android Studio they did was a different version too. Unless you can find something that somebody's made, within the last week or whatever, you're probably going to have different numbers on there. Or not that that's a big thing. Also, as I said, 718 meg. You can look at the options. There should be nothing. This should be a really simple install. So I'm just going to click the Download Android Studio. Again, I'm going to say that I have read everything, which turns the button blue, and I'm going to click Download. Just like we had before, it's going to save it to my downloads area or wherever your stuff gets saved to. Mine says it's going to take a minute. Again, I don't know how long yours is going to take. One thing I'm not going to do right now, I'm not going to go over the intricacies of Android Studio. We will talk about it. All right? But we will talk about it next semester. I will show you a couple things if you're interested. All right? So again, mine's still got a half a minute. Yours might take more, might take less time, depending on your machine. All right, mine is done. Again, yours may not be, but you're going to see how simple this is. I'm just going to right mouse click on it and choose open. Just like before, it's going to come up, I think, and it's going to, yeah, okay, here it says, do you want to run it? Yes, so run. I will tell you, if you don't already know this, Android Studio is pretty much open source. They are updating it all the time. I mean all the time. It's not even impossible that while you're working on it during the period, it's updated. All right, they always recommend that when they may put out an update, you immediately download it. Why? Because it usually is fixing something that may break on your machine. All right. So, yes, I do want to. So it comes through here. It's, again, as it says, it's going to guide you through the install. Next, I'm going to choose everything, which is the default. Next again. Notice where it puts it. Program files, Android Studio. You don't have to use that for anything. I'm just telling you where it is. Next. Okay, it says here, select the start menu folder where you want, etc. I'm just leaving it all in the default, and I'm clicking install. All right, it says completed. I'm going to click next. It says, we're done. You don't have to do this, but I am going to start Android Studio to just make sure that it comes up and that it looks okay. Again, this is where we're going to start next semester. All right. And you'll notice it may, when it starts to come up, first thing is, just so you see this, it's kind of hard to see, of course, with me sitting here, but this little green thing that looks like it's got a couple things coming out of it, that's the icon for it, okay? And I'm going to click on that. There it is. Okay, the cool thing is it actually saved my stuff from the old version. That's good. All right. Yours won't look like this, but yours probably, let me just do a file, save all, and I'm going to do a file, close project. Yours may very well come up and look just like this. All right, because you don't probably have anything loaded there yet. This is where we're going to pick it up next semester. All right. If you say, well, I can't wait until then, or I want to learn, etc. One thing that I saw when I was on here before, I don't know if I can find it now, but let's see. There was some kind of an online Android Studio tutorial that was on YouTube. I'm sure there's more than one, but I saw this one, Android Studio for Beginners. It's got 1.3 million views. So is it good? I don't know. I haven't looked at it at all. I know it's got more than one part also. And
Android Studio is a tool that you use.
That's a guy I would guess English is his first language.
It's considered an integrated development environment.
So again, if you're interested in that, notice there's part 4. So I don't know how long it is, but if you do want to look at that, again, all I did was type into YouTube Android Studio tutorial. All right. I'm going to watch that during the break because there's always stuff that I don't know about it. I find shortcuts and stuff like that all the time. All right. Speaking of which, and this is the last thing I'm saying, that if you go out, Android Studio, there are shortcuts. So if you're a shortcut type of person, here's some. But I thought there was, well, let me look. I thought there was a PDF one. Android Studio shortcuts you need the most. Well, in somebody's opinion, that's the way it is. So there's some of them. All right. You will never, ever be tested on how do you do this in Android Studio. It is also possible for you to create Android apps using things other than Android Studio. Did you hear what I said? That other one that I showed you, that IntelliJ IDEA, you can create Android apps in there. You can use Eclipse. You can use NetBeans. There's probably a good half dozen or more IDEs. I'm encouraging you to use the one that Google encourages you to use. All right? So one of the things that we are going to do when we start up next semester is we're going to write some Java programs the first week of class. And my hope is, and you're all that good, all right, that we can get all that done in a week. And then what we're going to do in the second week is we're going to grab a project that I have that is somebody's resume, and we're going to key it in, their resume. I'm going to give you the pictures and everything else, all right? Then after we get done with that, we're going to reverse engineer it and redo it with your resume. And as soon as we get done with that, all right, I'm going to show you how to upload it to the Google Play Store. All right. Now, again, in order to put things out on the Play Store, you need to be registered as an Android developer. All right. I'm actually going to now make this 10% of your grade for your final project. I want you to have that out there. So when you start to interview and somebody says, oh, I see you took an Android class. Do you have any apps? You can show them. All right. That never hurts. I have been at advisory committee meetings for Rankin Technical College where people there have said, I hired somebody, and one of the main reasons I hired them is they actually had an Android app out there that I could look at. All right? So if you had any problems, let me know. That's what I wanted to go over with you. All right? You will sometime during the break, if possible, I'm going to try to do it this weekend, but I'd rather get the PayPal stuff done. All right? But what I'm going to try to do by the end of next week, by the time we all leave here, is I want each and every one of you, I want to email you a copy of the syllabus. Plus, it'll be out there under Inside Rankin. All right? Questions on anything we just went over? All right, then the rest of the period is yours. Again, I'm going to try to give you some stuff on Monday for PayPal next week. I don't know how long it will take. And on Thursday of next week, so a week from yesterday, that's the end of the semester. I will be walking around, and it'll be worth 200 points. It'll be part 2 and part 3. And I'm going to take a look at your Bike Store project. All right? I don't think no one missed yesterday to my knowledge. Am I right in assuming all of you did the course evaluation? All right, because they always ask us if anybody missed to have them talk to Shannon. So, all right, then that's all I have.